In this video, we're going to go over setting up weighted groups in your Canvas course. This tutorial will be useful for instructors who set up their courses so that they have weighted categories or groups. So for instance, if your exams are worth 40% of the total points in your course, participation is worth 20%, and so on. If you don't have your course set up this way and just use straight points, you won't need to use the steps covered in this video. So in Canvas, setting up your weighted groups is actually done in the Assignments tab. So you'll click on your Assignments tab, and I don't have any assignments in here yet, and I also don't have any assignment groups. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is click on the assignment settings. And I get to the assignment settings by clicking on this three-dot menu, or kebab to use the Canvas lingo. And this assignment group's weight button comes up. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to check this box that says weight final grade based on assignment groups. This is how I let Canvas know that I do need to go and set up some weighted groups. There's always going to be a default group called assignments here. I'm just going to leave that there for now, just leave it the way it is, and I'm just going to click save. So now I'm going to go ahead and set up my groups, and I do that by clicking this plus group button to the left of the add assignment button. I don't want to add assignments right now, I'm just working on adding my groups. And it's usually easiest to do this if you have a copy of your syllabus handy so that you just can kind of go through, look at your syllabus, and just create all of your weighted groups. So I'm going to add a group here called tests, and I'm going to make it worth 40% of my grade. I'm going to click save, and then I'm going to do it again and add whatever other groups I have listed on my syllabus. And I'll keep going until I have all of my groups equaling 100%. Now, if you have a group in your syllabus called assignments, you could always just use this default category, or you could delete it, or you could edit it. So I can come here to my kebab menu for this particular group and click edit. And now I could either keep the name, change it. I need to give it an amount. I could also have just deleted it from that kebab menu, but I'm just going to use it since I have a group called assignments, and now I'm going to click save. So I can see here I have all my categories. If I ever want to just look at a list of all my categories and what they're worth and make sure they're worth 100%, I can click on my kebab for my whole assignments, and here I have a list of all of my groups and my total. So once you have your groups, if you already have existing assignments, you can easily put the assignments into the correct category. So for example, my tests category here, I can go ahead and just drag and drop my tests into my tests category. So now as I create new assignments or new discussions or new quizzes, part of the process of setting those up is going to be selecting the weighted group that I want to put that item in, and I'll be able to select that from the drop-down menu and choose the correct group that it needs to go into. So keep in mind when you're creating your graded items that Canvas takes into account the number of points you've made a particular assignment worth when it's calculating the assignment weights. So let's say that you have a weighted group that's worth 40% of the points for a course. So for example, this tests category worth 40% of the total points, and I have 3 items in it. 2 of them are worth 100 points each, and then the final exam is worth 200 points. So it's going to give this final exam that's worth 200 points double the weight that it's going to give both tests 1 and test 2 because each of those are just worth 100 points. So in this category that is worth 40% of the total, it's going to count the final exam as being worth 20% of that, and then each of these tests are both going to be worth 10% of that. So that can get a little bit confusing if you're having a lot of different items in a category that are worth different point values. It can be kind of complicated to try to figure out what each of those is worth as far as the total percentage. So you can make your exams and assignments worth however many points you want, but it does seem to work more smoothly if you make each item in a category worth the same amount of points. So my recommendation would be, if you have a graded item that must have a different point value from the others, put it in its own category so it won't mess up your category weights.